Hello everyone. In this lecture, we are going to study one-step growth experiment. One-step growth experiment was first performed by Max Delbruck and Emory Ellis in 1939 using T2 bacteriophage. Max Delbruck was awarded the Nobel Prize in 1969. The experiment reveals fundamental nature of virus replication. In this experiment, single cycle of virus growth is observed. Therefore, it is called as one-step growth experiment. In one-step growth experiment, excess of susceptible host cells are infected with the phage particles. The idea is to prevent adsorption of more than one phage particle per cell. The mixture is then allowed to stand for short duration. During this period, phage particles adsorb on host cells. The mixture is then highly diluted in broth to eliminate immediate adsorption of phage particles released upon lysis of host cell. Thus, only one step of virus growth is studied. Samples of the diluted mixtures are removed at regular time interval and plated for plaque count. Plaque is a small, circular, clear, visible area in a layer of cells formed by growth of bacteriophages. In this case, assay gives a measure of infectious centers, that is, infected bacteria and number of virus particles. It also gives burst size at the end. When log number of plaque forming units per ml is plotted against time, a curve is obtained which is known as one-step growth curve. One-step growth curve shows a typical course of events during a viral infection of a cell. The curve gives three distinct phases: latent period, burst period or rise period, and plateau period. Latent period. The time from infection till cell lysis is called as a latent period. There is no release of new virus particles from infected cells. Therefore, plaque count remains constant. T2 bacteriophage has a latent period of around 22 to 23 minutes at 37 degrees Celsius. The latent period can be divided into eclipse period and intracellular accumulation period. Eclipse period. It is initial stage of latent period. The time from infection until intracellular accumulation of phages is called as eclipse period. In this period, gene expression, protein and genome synthesis occurs. T2 bacteriophage has eclipse period of about 11 to 12 minutes at 37 degrees Celsius. Intracellular accumulation period. The time from initiation to end of intracellular accumulation of phages is called as intracellular accumulation period. Here, phage proteins and genomes assemble into new phage particles. The intracellular accumulation of T2 phage requires about 11 to 12 minutes at 37 degrees Celsius. Burst period or rise period. The time from initiation of infected host cell lysis to end is called as burst period or rise period. At the end of latent period, each infected cell lyses and liberates a crop of new virus particles. In this phase, there is release of new virus particles from infected cells. Therefore, plaque count rises rapidly. T2 bacteriophage has a burst period of about 10 minutes at 37 degrees Celsius. Plateau period. Plateau period represents end of all infected host cell lysis. The newly liberated phage particles fail to meet uninfected host cells due to high dilution. Therefore, plaque count remains constant. T2 phage attains plateau period in about 30 minutes at 37 degrees Celsius. Burst size. Burst size refers to the number of virus particles produced from the infection of a single cell. The burst size is calculated using the formula burst size is equal to plaque forming unit per ml at plateau period divided by plaque forming unit per ml at latent period. The burst size varies from 20 to 3000 virions per cell for different viruses. T2 bacteriophage has a burst size of more than 100 phages per cell. Thank you.